Hi friends, welcome back to Scale Model Kit Review Studio, and welcome back to another episode of the Agora models of British SAS Jeep. Let's get started.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Welcome back, my friends. Welcome to another installment of the Agora models. Build the SAS Willy's Jeep. Yes, this is the 1/8 scale Jeep from World War II, the North African campaign. Very famous British commando Jeep. It's full of all kinds of extras. This kit is fantastic. You get rucksacks, helmets, backpacks, sandbags, jerry cans, the gamut. Everything that these troops needed to support and sustain their mission. So, we are on pack 7 now. Fantastic here. I'm really having a blast building this. So, in pack 7, I received 8 more stages, stage 46 through 53. And I love the brown packaging here. Great for recycling, which I do. I recycle all my boxes and paper products. So this is fantastic here. Way better than the plastic. So we're going to be spending a lot of time in this pack working on the interior of the Jeep. We'll be fitting the driver's seat, passenger seat, fitting in the gas tank, and preparing the firewall. So with that, if you haven't done so already, head over to Agora Models and sign up for this build today. It's a fantastic, very unique Willys Jeep, and I think you will not be disappointed. So let's go ahead and get started on stage 46. And welcome back to 46. I really like this eco-friendly brown packaging here. Fantastic here, easy opening to gain access to your parts. And also the parts wrapped inside are eco-friendly there. We'll be working on fitting the driver's seat brackets. Let's go ahead and look at the parts that are contained within. And as you can see here, the driver's seat itself is wrapped again in eco-friendly packaging there, very nice, along with the screws, the DM screws, and the 2 metal brackets. We'll also need, for this build, the interior floor. So pull that out from the previous stage that you built. And again, the view of all the parts out of the packaging. This is the seat here, seat back, made of metal, and 3 DM screws. Alright, to start we're going to go ahead and install these 2 metal brackets for this seat. There is an alignment tab, and that just simply inserts right on the floor. Same for the other one, and same for the other one. We'll insert that and put 2 DM screws into that on the back side. I will use some oil on the screws. And that's good right there. Nice and tight. And both brackets are installed. You can see that. And that completes stage 46. Looks great. Let's get started on stage 47. For stage 46, I will be fitting the driver's seat backrest. And here's a close-up of the parts. Here's our backrest. Very nice there. 12 EM screws and some assembly stands. These are made of plastic. You may have seen these before for other builds. I'll be fitting the cushion here onto the backrest, and there's mounting holes all the way around. Okay. EM screws are used for that. And what they do suggest is you take a sharp pair of tweezers and you can go ahead and take and widen the holes a little bit to help you along with that. And you can probably do it while you're in the process of installing this. And that just kind of loosens it up a little bit to get your screws started. Take and line up the backrest to those slots there, just like that. And then we'll go ahead and line up our screws. Now what I found easy is to take your screw through the seat cushion first, line it up to the hole, just like that, and get it started. Just like that. I'll do the rest of them and I'll be right back. And there you go, all the screws were started. Just take your time with it and you shouldn't have any problems. That completes stage 47. Let's get started on stage 48. Here's the parts for stage 48. I'll be fitting the driver's seat. Here's a close-up of the parts. This is the seat bottom cushion here, and the seat bottom itself. This is for the driver's side. It gains access to the gas tank. 2 HP screws and 3 DM screws. First thing I'm going to do is install the bottom portion of the driver's seat. You want to make sure that your ejection pin marks are on the bottom. You're not going to see them when it's facing up. And we're just going to press fit those to the bottom of the brackets here on the chair. Just like that. That's how that looks, and that's the orientation you want with those holes. Next we're going to take the seat cushion, and you'll note there's some alignment pins here on the end. That goes on the back, and then we have some installation holes here on the bottom. So we're going to take and insert that pin on the right hand side of the seat down there on the bottom, and we're going to put a screw in on the other side. It's going to be that HP screw. I'll leave it a little bit loose so it rotates up and down. That looks good because that gains access to the fuel tank. Next I brought over the floor, and we're going to take our gas tank here. We're going to mount that on top, just like that. Next I'm going to mount the seat onto those brackets we installed earlier, and it's going to line up just like that. And 2 DM screws will go into that. I went ahead and I cut the threads first with the screw. I'll back this out. Now I'll go ahead and mount this on the seat bracket. Bring over the seat, line it up, and get it started. Go ahead and do the front one here. Screw goes in from the front on this. And that's secure there. That's how that looks. And I'll go ahead and tighten up the other one over here. I left it a little loose. I did oil the screws with 3-in-1 oil. And you can see how the chair lifts up to gain access to the gas cap for the gas tank. So for the bottom of the seat here where the plastic part meets the metal part, I did add a little bit of super glue in those areas on both sides. And there you go, that completes stage 48. Let's get started on stage 49. Here's the parts for stage 49. I'll be fitting the passenger seat brackets. Here's a close-up of the parts. Here's the passenger seat. It's all one piece there. And seat brackets themselves. 3 DM screws and some 50 caliber rounds. Very cool. Alright, first thing I'll do is I'll install these seat brackets, and they'll get mounted on the seat out of the car first. Get that started so I can get it lined up. Get the screws started there. And we'll leave it a little bit loose because this seat does fold like that. Good. We'll install the other side. And both seat brackets are installed. And I left them a little bit loose for both. That completes stage 49. Let's get started on stage 50. Here's the parts for stage 50. I'll be fitting the passenger seat backrest. Here's a close-up of those parts. Here's the backrest itself. Just like the driver's side, we're going to be screwing it down on the metal backrest. 50 caliber rounds and 12 EM screws. And there you go. All the screws are installed. Just like the other one. Looks great. And that completes stage 50. Let's get started on stage 51. Here's the parts for stage 51. This time I'll be fitting the passenger seat. Here's a close-up of those parts. Here's the passenger seat bottom cushion. 50 caliber rounds once again. 2 JP and 3 DM screws. Next, I'm going to go ahead and mount the seat cushion to the bottom of the seat. And you can see here we have this emblem right. They want that up front. It doesn't really matter what side of the seat it's on. But what you want to pay attention to is where your screw lines up to the mounting hole here. JP screw goes into that. So I'll put the screw in first to help line it up. And then bring over my cushion, line it up, and screw it down. It's going into plastic, so not too tight. That should be good there, and that's how that looks there. Looks great. Now I'm going to bring over the floor and we'll mount this to the floor. Now I'll bring over the chair and we'll line up the mounting lugs here for the bottom of the chair to the floor. Both sides. Press down on it. And 2 DM screws will go into that from the bottom. And the last one. That's good there. Both screws are installed and the chair is mounted. And there you go. That completes stage 51. Let's get started on stage 52. Here's stage 52. It's the largest bag in the pack here, and we'll be preparing the firewall. Here's a close-up of the parts. Here's the firewall itself. And this is cool here because it shows our desert sand color on one side and our olive drab on the other, which is visible from the engine compartment. Okay. What we also received is our starter. This is a floor starter. They would use your foot to push the button to start your engine, along with a small C-clip. We definitely don't want to lose that C-clip because we only have one of them. You want to orient your firewall like this, and we'll install our starter button just like that. And then that C-clip that we saw earlier will get clipped on the back side. Just like that. I'm going to go ahead and put a little tab of glue on that so it doesn't fly off by accident. These are plastic, so extra thin should work fine on that. There you go. And there's our starter button. And that completes stage 52. Let's get started on the final stage for this video, stage 53. And welcome back to the final stage for this video, Pack 7. stage 53. In this stage, I will be fitting the firewall. Here's the parts bag that came for 53. CP, BM, BP, and DP screws. Received another jerry can or fuel can. And this is our high beam headlight switch down below there, made of plastic. And our fuel filter assembly. Go ahead and take and assemble the fuel filter here first. It does have an alignment tab, so it should only go on one way. Take and make sure it lines up like it should, and there we go. There's our fuel filter assembly. Very nice. Bring over the firewall, and our fuel filter assembly is going to mount to the back side of the firewall here. You have a flat edge. You want to line that up and put a CP screw in on the other side. And the CP screw is installed. And there's your fuel filter mounted. Very nice. I also mounted the headlight high beam switch with a BP screw right there. And there's your high beam switch. Next, I'm going to go ahead and mount the firewall to the floor. And if you look on the bottom of the floor here, you have 3 mounting lugs up front here. And that's where the floor will actually hook up to, just like that. Be careful while you do this, because you do have your gear shift levers and all that on the other side. We're going to use 3 BM screws for that. And 3 BM screws were installed with some 3-in-1 oil to help it along. Make sure they are tight. Looks good. And that's what that looks like on the other side. Looks great. And the last thing I did was build the jerry can. We've done that before, pretty easy process. I did use DP screws for that, 2 of them. And there you go, that completes stage 53, and ultimately pack number 7 is complete here. So if you think you'd like to get this for yourself, head over to Agora Models and subscribe to this build today. With that, happy modeling everybody, and we will see you next month with pack 8.
Tiny pieces in my hands, dreams of worlds in my command. Snapping, painting, building, true. Welcome to Scale Model Kit Review.